Hey guys. All right. So I will say so we'll start the list now, but I've got songs that I already have built in my head that I feel like talk about the two events that happened. I will say I'm definitely they both were incredibly horrible and should not have happened. But the one that really devastated me more, it wasn't so much that it was in Maine. It was the fact that this man they killed in Biddeford was a Colombian man, meaning that he he was from Colombia, which is in South America, but he was an immigrant, meaning that he was he was not illegally living here specifically, and it came back stayed not through any bullshit, but it came back as this guy was a legitimate immigrant that has lived here for a long time. 26 years old, had a wife and daughter. Probably the thing that I took about the whole thing with this family is that the mom and the wife, or really the wife of this father, was crying over over his deceased body, and his daughter was out there with her bluey pajamas on. But that is the thing with the Alex Pretty and the woman that was killed as well. There was no body cameras with those events at all. The events that have taken place. I mean, people can blame Alex for many things. I mean, yes, he shouldn't have intervened, but when you see three officers brutally assaulting an older lady, are you going to stand there if you're a citizen and you were born in America? Are you going to sit there and see that whether she was an immigrant or not, are you going to sit there and watch these three officers come up to her that don't have body cameras? Congress, and even 6 months prior to their bullshit, they were required to have body cameras. And that's what really ticks me off about this is we've had people killed in different states. I mean, this guy, and that's the thing is how they said the scene was played and showing footage of it where the ICE agents shot 4 rounds into the windshield. One of them must have hit him, killed him, and dropped out of the white SUV he was in. And these are what neighbors saw when they went outside. Because as I said, the ICE agents have never had body cameras, even though they needed to have them through the law. Otherwise, they're killing people illegally. But unfortunately, since they're categorized as federal, I don't say they're honestly, it's hard to even state that they're federal at this point from what they haven't shown the people, what they have not. I mean, they're freaking ghosts, meaning that even Angus King stated, and many people stated, that these guys are running loose like ghosts, only with a badge, and obviously the back reads ICE agent on the back of their vest, but no body cameras, nothing. If they were federal, they would have federal permission from Congress, but even Congress is finding this extremely questionable and very disgusting that these agents are not equipped, not giving us the answers. They're not going to give us answers. Not in the way they act towards people. But that's the thing, is once they kill somebody, I mean, these three ICE agents that killed this young man yesterday drove away. I would have told them to stay, and they stayed at the crime scene, or not for long, but I'm pretty sure what I heard is that they stayed for like a, I don't know if it was more than a few minutes at the crime scene, but they do not. And that's the thing, there was two tents too set up where the murder happened. And to me, that's really questionable. But I am going to, so I won't be able to play you all the music that I have on this list due to copywriting, but lyrically, I can read you the lyrics and highlight some of the lyrics throughout these songs I've chosen, I've handpicked, that really gravitate me towards what has been happening with the fatalities, um relating to death, relating to unfortunate death, meaning that there is, I mean, that these deaths are unnecessary, but this music that I listen to that corresponds to that, each lyrics has a powerful message, maybe multiple within the lyrics. Um, but I'm gonna start. So I've got 10. I was gonna do 15 songs, but I'm gonna actually sum it up to 10. Um, but our first song we're gonna go with is I'm gonna go with a song that I have not heard for a long time. It is a great song, but the band is called I mean, I actually I might even this is hard. I might save this for number 8. You know what? You know what? I'm going to go with a classic song cuz that sometimes you want to change the songs in order just reading the lyrics, but so yeah, I'm going to go with number 10 with Hey Jude by the Beatles. But I will read you all the lyrics. Hey Jude, don't make it bad. Take a sad song and make it better. Remember to let her into your heart, then you can start to make it better. Hey Jude, don't be afraid. You are made to go out and get her. The minute you let her under your skin, then you began to make it better. And anytime you feel the pain, hey Jude, refrain. Don't carry the world upon your shoulders. For well, you know that it's a fool who plays it cool. I'll be right back. Thor has to go out. Yep. All right. Thor, good boy. Yeah, we my mom ordered Thor a new Bart collar. I have the collar right here charging on the desk, and the remote is on the counter. We keep everything in the box, especially if like everything is the remote's charged and the collar, just to keep everything together. Um, but I will say the lyrics in Hey Jude for me are a powerful message due to not letting the outer world bring you down, but meaning that what makes you happy is it's your extended history of what life is cuz you think of Hey Jude as really that communication of don't let this outer world beat you up, meaning that, I mean, yes, people carry weight on their shoulders, but it's a song for self-healing, meaning that it's a song that inspires, have less weight on your shoulders, enjoy what comes, enjoy what's coming in, because a lot of us want to focus on the outer world where it's a lot harder to manage because a lot of it we don't have control over. And the best way to be happy is focusing on our inner selves. um, but the lyric here is honest. I will say that's the thing is like this song too has to I feel like has to do with pretty crappy relationships. Like for me, this would be a song I would probably listen to if I had someone in my life, a woman that was getting under my skin, telling me, threatening me, cheat, but in telling you that the movement you, I love that lyric too, the movement you need is on your shoulder. And I feel like it's really talking about you don't need somebody in your life to be happy. You don't need somebody constantly there to live your life. It says, remember to let her under your skin, then you'll begin to make. Yeah, so I feel like this song is strong about letting go to those people out there who might challenge you, who might. But I love the lyric, take a sad song and make it better. So basically, take a really sad song and make that song well worth it. Make it the way you want to make it, but make it, make it. I will say, take a sad song, make it better. So take a sad song and make it into something positive. But yeah, Hey Jude, refrain, don't carry the world upon your shoulders. But I feel like, and I love the fact where it says, for well you know that it's a fool who plays it cool by making his world a little colder. Sometimes you have to act foolish. I feel like here they're talking about being foolish who just plays it cool by making his world a little colder, meaning making his world a bit dry, like you're letting things coming in and coming out. But number 10 is Hey Jude by the Beatles, at least for me. Um, but so number 9, this is a band that my dad actually got me into when I was growing up. They are from Mexico, I think. Yeah, it's but they're called the Mavericks. And they have a song called Pizza Rico. But it is a really good song that talks about family, knowing that everybody in your family loves you. But this is a good message of, because the sun is always shining wherever you go. But there's a lyric is everybody knows you in the neighborhood, and that lyric to me just in, sticks that, like, whether living or dead, people are always going to know who you are. Those who grew up on your street or your road, or if you've never moved. But I feel like this is definitely a song from dad to daughter. But this song came out in 2006. But it's real for me. This is a really in-depth song about a child of two parents, the parents being the angels watching over you as you grow in life. Like, I feel like this song really talks about growth. It talks about when there is angels watching over you in the sky. But the so verse 1 is, the sun is always shining wherever you go, and there's an angel watching over you, I know. You get away with every, or I'm gonna just read it. I'm not gonna. I want to sing this, but my the sun is always shining wherever you go, and there's an angel watching over you, I know. You get away with everything, but not very far. That's just what you are. Everybody knows you in the neighborhood, and sometimes what they say isn't always that good. You're not misbehaving, you're misunderstood, but we still love you. Hey, Pitorico, bet you know that your mama loves you. Pizzarico, but you know that your daddy does too. Pizzarico, wherever you go, whatever you do, Pizzarico, your dreams will come true. Verse 2 is, you and all your little friends are running around. Getting into trouble never brings you down. You have been my happiness right from the start, the joy of my heart. But this song just really explodes into family, and for me, the angels are the parents, and the lyrics are in the meaning behind this song. Because when a child loses their parents, whether in an early age of life, it's really a message that you get away with everything, but not very far. Meaning, there's limitations what you can get away with, but that's just, and it's really, that's just what you are. Basically, stating that's just who you are. Everybody knows you in the neighborhood, meaning that people are always going to remember you in the neighborhood. Sometimes even if they say, isn't always that good, you're not misbehaving, you're just, people will misunderstand you. That's a part of life. People will misunderstand, but it doesn't mean they're never going to love you. Cuz like for me, that's what I take on this song, is that like people aren't going to always consider that you're misbehaving, you're misunderstood. Not a lot of people are going to understand you, but they're still going to love you, that but you and your little friends. So like if you, because I'm hoping this girl that lost her dad, has the best, has friends, because it sucks because she's only 3 years old, and that's what really killed me, is that this little girl is only 3 years old. So really, this song for me had more of a powerful message than Hey Jude. Although Hey Jude is more of a straightforward, kind of like, don't let the negative outcome in life really set you back. Whereas this song talks more about a child living without one of her parents, but still being able to enjoy life, whether to feel misunderstood, or if somebody states to them they're misbehaving, really they're telling you that you're misunderstood. You might not understand things. But getting into trouble never brings you down. But for me, it's a really powerful message, um of even if somebody, if you have a parent in your life that is still around, they're not going to state to you that you're trouble, but that you're misunderstood, meaning you might not understand a lot of things. Or if you don't understand something, tell that person that you don't understand something. And I will say that this is a song for me that symbolizes people that may be a different race, that may be citizens in the US not being able to, that are misunderstood from those who have lived in America. Americans, settlers. Like, I feel like this song doesn't just play an impact on family, it's very historical, and it talks very in depth and feeling misunderstood rather than misbehaving. But it's a song that always embraces whatever wherever you go and whatever you do, your dreams, your passions are going to come true. So this is a really positive song. But when my dad first introduced me to this song, I was it's a song that reminds you if you're on like an island, but it's got like that. It definitely has that Mexican paradise sound to it. Um, but there it is, the Mavericks Pizza Rico. But the next song that I have is so this song I actually recently just heard not too long ago. I think it was back in March, but it was playing because so my dad will go on and watch streamers. He'll go live and watch streamers play Golf Clash, and a lot of them will play music in the background. And one of the songs I heard was a song that was really it was a ballad for me more. I mean, yes, it's a song, but it's a really powerful song and has definitely a positive, but I feel like more power of what reality is. Like, this is a song with power on reality, especially children who don't quite understand what is going on. This is a song that I feel like gives power to the children around the world, especially when it comes to depression, through loss, through anything tragic. This is a powerful, I would say, action to push forward with all your leverage, emotionally and physically, and really talking about children. But the song is called When the Children Cry. It's by a band called White Lion. But the song actually was written right after Live Aid in 1985 and was partly inspired by singer Mike Tramp, the lead singer for White Lion, based off of his childhood. But I feel like the lyrics behind this is so national, so powerful of what children go through, what they have to witness, and what they shouldn't have to witness. Because but it talks about war and political movements, and it also talks about the one united world under God, which I wanted to have this as like number 10 on my, or actually number 1 on my list, but there's songs out there for me. If not of one of the songs on my list, this would have made maybe number 3, maybe number 2. This is actually one of the I don't cry while listening to songs that are powerful. I mean, yes I do, but this was one that I bawled to. And that's the thing is it's an encouragement too with people that are dealing with living situations where what is destroyed has to be rebuilt. And the movement behind it is I mean, children that are born, all the children that are born have all this world to see. And that for me, having a lyric, this song is a weapon. It's not a weapon in a gun or a sword or any physical weapon. It's a weapon in music that I feel like would destroy. I would say music is one of those weapons that can destroy a war based nation that we're currently facing. But the lyrics reads, "Little child, dry your crying eyes. How can I explain the fear you feel inside? 'Cause you were born into this evil world where man is killing man and no one knows just why." So for me, that lyric right there stands of what these agents have been doing. We want answers why they are killing, why these people are becoming deceased, or are dying. Obviously it is the agents, but why are they killing them? Where are the body cameras? Where's the evidence? Or actually, really, where is all of us citizens are seeing this all unfold in real life? In many of those questions, body cameras. Um, Even if they are, meaning they have a right to live in Maine, you don't screw with people. Period. But you want to make sure kids have peace, but unfortunately, through memory, they're not going to lose those memories from an evil world or evil events that take place within the world that we live in. But I'll finish by stating the lyrics or reading off the lyrics saying, "What have we become? Just look what we have done. All that we destroyed, you must build again. When the children cry, let them know we tried. 'Cause when the children sing, the new world begins. Little child, you must show the way to a better day for all the young, 'cause you were born for all the world to see, that we all can live with love and peace. No more presidents and all the worlds will end. One united world under God." But it repeats over, but it's one of those incredibly powerful songs that, for me, once I heard it, I burst into tears. But the song released in 1987. But number 7 on my list is a band that, all these bands I do love. I've been listening to them. But one of the bands, and I mentioned this band on my live I did earlier, that is coming out with an album in October. It is Nickelback, but they have, I will say, one of their best songs, and it's on their best hits album. Um, but it's called "If Everyone Cared." For me, this song is very. I mean, it came out in 2005. Um, but the message behind this song carries a, I will say, more so of swallowing your pride, but really that's the thing, through fact and logic. If everyone shared how they felt, how they behaved, how they acted towards something, or really sharing your belief, sharing your stories, sharing trauma, what you've had to go through in life, and swallowing your pride, it's really incredibly powerful. Um like sharing what you know, sharing what you know, sharing what you've seen, what you've observed, actions you've taken. um it's a really powerful message of, if the world only could do that, we would see a day where nobody died. But I know in the video they have these clips of Nelson Mandela. Um, they show different events in the official video of that song with Martin Luther King. Um, but I love the fact that, like, the actions we take, that people take, a lot of us are wrong, but that's where we come in and teach them all to sing along. I mean, I love that lyric they write. It's, we'll show the world they were wrong and teach them how to sing along. And that right there, music is the internal life that that is going to keep everybody alive. We're sharing it through emotion. We're sharing it through going through, as I said, different emotions, things that we don't want to have taken away, fear. But again, like, that song carries a lot of back history, and really where we could have had the world like this where nobody died. If people swallowed their pride, swallowed what they believed in, and were able to share what they had gone through. But If Everyone Cared is number 7. Number six is a song that it doesn't have. I mean, as far as I know, it does not have a. It doesn't have lyrics. It is a ballad though, that is from the Guitar Hero soundtrack. It's one of those like downloadable tracks from Guitar Hero. But one of the people that played along to it is an, I will say, influential by influence and idol. This man just, for me, any, I'm going to state it this way, that any guitar player, right, that we think of today, it could be it could be someone like Jimi Hendrix who made history. It could be Eric Clapton. It could be, and I'm not saying any of those guitar players are horrible. I would not say that about Eric Clapton, and I definitely would not say that about Jimi Hendrix. Eddie Van Halen, I don't think he was a very nice guy, but I think musically he was incredibly skilled. Um, but from looking at guitar players that are considered lesser known, more underground, but taught by legends underground that develop each level of being underground and up to the surface, are probably, those for me are the guitar players that know how to grow a tree from its roots and like grow it fully to when it's fully grown. But I wanted to mention this song, and as I said, it is a song that I would say has a lot of emotional ballad strength within just an instrument and a professional playing this song. But it's called The Wind That Shakes the Earth, or Wind That Shakes the Heart. It's by far one of my favorite songs. But the guitar player that I feel like just nails it is Andy James. And Andy James is actually, other than Zoltan, who's been in Five Finger Death Punch for all of it, Andy James is also the other guitar player for the band. But Andy James, before that, him and the drummer for Five Finger Death Punch, now Charlie and Gene, I believe is his last name, but they were both part of the band Scale the Summit, which was another really great band. Um, but Andy James, I mean, I do like Jason Hook as well, but the thing is, what I like about Andy is that his ballads, and obviously this, he works with scales too. I've noticed when he does ballads, and he often will do the finger tapping too. Um, and obviously he's also well known for bending notes, bending strings, multiple strings. I would also give Zoltan credit too. Zoltan's a great guitar player too. But Andy, just for me, he has that really, I don't, it's his guitar playing and as an individual how Andy works, how he proceeds with his, guitar background and how like cuz for me the guitar players that are not spoken about are like the spiritual or like ghosting guitar players. Not that I'm calling them or labeling them as ghosts. They're just very underground. I would say definitely not mentioned, as I said, like guitar players that put themselves out there more, you know, through industry and stuff like that. Jimi Hendrix, Eric Clapton, Eddie Van Halen, Paul McCartney, George Harrison, all of those guys. Um, what's the Angus Young from AC/DC. Um, Prince. We think of all those guys as like they were very successful. Growing up, though, I always wanted to know like Nirvana. Like that's the thing we talk about a lot about like bands like Kurt Cobain, Eddie Vedder from Pearl Jam, Metallica, but like people like Andy James are not. I would say are the most underground people you'll ever find. They're setting their own roots. They're planting their own roots to grow a tree, multiple trees for that matter. And when you see somebody underground build extensively and tremendous, faster, or really when they build and they construct, and they're digging themselves out of underground. Um, but Andy is British, so he comes from the UK. But so does Zoltan. Zoltan comes from Germany, so. But for me, it's one of the most remarkable things about any guitar player is how they can come up from underground and go back down underground when they choose and please to do it. Andy's the groundhog in the guitar world for me, meaning that if he wants to go back down underground, he will learn something going underground, coming back up. And there's many holes he can dig or tunnels he can go through to come back up. And that's really a good mindset to have on stage too, is if like if you mess up, Andy, even Ivan, the lead singer for Five Finger Death Punches, said Andy, if he makes a mistake, it takes him seconds to come back and finish the solo. But yeah, Andy James. Number 5. So number 5 for songs is I'm gonna go actually with a Five Finger Death Punch song for my 5th spot, and it's called Cold. I'll be right back. I'm gonna go grab a drink. All right, guys. So number five is "Cold" by Five Finger Death Punch. Um, it goes like so. It goes. I'm gazing upward, a world I can't embrace. There's only thorns and splinters, venom in my veins. It's okay to cry out when it's driving you insane, but somehow, someday, I'll have to face the pain. It's all gone cold, but no one wants to blame. It's all so wrong, but who am I? Who am I to say? I'm begging for forgiveness, everything I've done. If God is listening, He knows I'm not the only one. It's okay to lash out from the rules that I've enslaved, but somehow, someday, I'll have to turn the page. It's all gone cold and no one wants to change. It's all so wrong, but no one wants the pain. It's all gone cold, there's nothing left to gain. It's all so wrong, but who am I to say? My heart's an endless winter filled with rage. I'm looking forward to forgetting yesterday. It's all gone cold and no one wants to change. It's all so wrong, but no one wants to blame. But I really um but I like the lyric. The one that states for me is when so after he says my heart's an endless winter filled with rage. I'm looking forward to forgetting yesterday. So like that is a really awesome lyric cuz it talks about whatever happens a day, like whatever happened yesterday, that's yesterday. Today is a new day. Like that's the thing. Whatever events occurred yesterday, and it takes somebody really incredibly strong mentally to actually. I mean, this song is like the protein powder in strength. Um, or it's really just I love that lyric. It's I'm looking forward to forgetting yesterday. but that strong, meaning that events that indicate a murder that could make, maybe, unfortunate events. I love the lyric in here. I'm looking forward to forget. It's strong, and it's a movement. It's that it's forgetting about what happened yesterday. And in the beginning, Ivan sings, "I'm gazing upward, a world I can't embrace." Because the world I can't embrace part's really awesome. Like, you like a world that you want to accept, but it's not changing itself. And I think that's what Ivan means, is that it's a world that he can't embrace within, like, where there's, like, basically, if you think about it, thorns and splinters are a good way of signifying that. Thorns, that are on roses. Typically, when you pick a rose, there's going to be thorns on the not the rose itself, but the end of a rose. And then when you get a splinter, I mean, you have to take immediate action to removing it. Venom in my veins, that's another really good lyric. Venom in your veins, so it could be something like a venomous animal biting you. Venom in your veins. It's okay to cry out. So what he's stating, it's okay to cry when something is driving you insane and driving you crazy. But that's the thing, is that pain is never over, because he also states, somehow someday I'll have to face the pain. And another thing is, like, he has this lyrics where it says it's okay to lash out from the rules that I'm enslaved. Okay, so I think I know what he's meaning by this. It's okay to get angry out from the rules that I'm enslaved. But you question that, though, enslaved. It's a really powerful word indicating, are you free? Like, are you enslaved? Like, do you have that freedom? Like, you want to argue those rules, like, because that's the thing, people often require for you to do something to get your enslavement. But I will say this song is incredibly powerful. and it stacks powerful meta like meanings. But he writes after enslaved, but somehow someday I'll have to turn the page. Me, despite having to follow rules to get your freedom, you still have to keep going. Like, this is a message of action. This is a song of action. But I will say this song is like really motivating because I mean, I feel this song is really good, and it talks about like how like, oh, I mean, winter, it can be an endless winter. It can be nothing but snow and being incredibly cold. But it talks about weather is not just only cold, but it's really it's like life is an endless winter. It doesn't end without getting blamed for something. It's all so wrong. Well, really, he states that it's all gone cold, meaning everything's gone cold. No one wants to change. It's all so wrong, and no one wants the blame. Because that's one of the biggest messages in this song. No one wants to change. There is people out there that don't want to change, meaning that they don't want to change what they do, how they present, through addiction. They don't want to change. It's all wrong, but nobody wants the blame. Nobody wants to blame from the reason you have not changed. And then he states, there's nothing, it's all gone cold. There's nothing left to gain. It's all so wrong, but who am I to say? And he states that as like a question with a question mark at the end. But he's saying, who am I? Who am I to say? Because you don't know if you don't know if there's nothing left to gain. I mean, many people state that as there's nothing left to gain. There's nothing left to go back to, gain back. But you don't know that because for him to state, who am I? Who am I to stay? Say, I mean. And I feel like that lyric has to do with Ivan's background with possibly drugs, um, obviously taking a lot of space away from the band, and having Tommy Vex from Bad Wolves, you know, basically cover for him. Um, I feel like there's a big lesson there is that when you feel like there's nothing to gain, that you just want to die, you want to be, you know it's incredibly hard to change. You want to blame those who you might. This is an incredible song, and I have listened to this song, and it's one that I always have on my playlist too. It came out in 2013. So we're getting closer now to some of the songs. So number 4 on my list is a band I actually saw them live. I went to one of their concerts, but it was 3 Days Grace, Return to Dust, and this band that was the main band for the night. But that is Breaking Benjamin. So they have a song from 2009 called "I Will Not Bow." And I chose this song for many reasons. It's because we all in life know who we want to be around, who is safe to be around, who is not safe to be around. Because those you know who you shouldn't be around, I mean, that includes people you don't know. Those are people you do not bow to. And this is a song for me that really delivers that message on a really enormous scale. But he says, "Fall, now the dark begins to rise. Save your breath. It's far from over." Meaning that save what you have. It's far from being done. It's far from being over. Leave the lost and dead behind. I mean, this is a song for me that brings me back to yesterday. I love that line though, and it's really strong. I would say I wouldn't. I mean, I would use this I wouldn't copy it as here, but Ben writes, "Leave the lost and dead behind," meaning that those who are killed leave the lost and dead behind. I mean that talks about war, talks about events that happen modern day. Leave the lost and dead behind. It just it's a lyric that is so good. It's it's going straight forward. It's going right to that line. But leave the lost and dead behind. Now's your chance to run for cover. Meaning that leave those that that you loved. Um, Now's your chance to run for cover. And this is quote, this is saying you're still alive, but you need to get out of there. I don't want to change the world. I just want to leave it colder. This is a man witnessing. I mean, for me, this is a dark song, and this is a song that indicates I don't have any control. No one has control of changing the world, but we can leave it colder as it already is. Light the fuse and burn it up. Take the path that leads to nowhere. Some days I will state myself I want to shut the world away. At least I want to shut the world and that includes people dying around me that I might not know. I still have that mindset of wanting to shut the whole world out. Um but take the path that leads to nowhere. Like I feel like that's a really good lyric of taking your own path and continue going down that path. All is lost again, but I'm not giving in. So all is lost again is all I mean, more crimes have taken whatever negativities in this world, but I'm not putting any effort to focus giving in, which is a really powerful line. It's I will not bow, I will not break, I will shut the world away. I feel like when he says I will take your breath away, people are going to be so influenced by your skill and really recognize what you lived out to do. Watch the end through dying eyes. I mean, now the dark is taking over. Show me where forever dies. Take the fall and run to heaven. So you don't have. I mean, that's the thing. I will not fade. I will take your. Yeah. But we are. So I will not bow was number 4. Um. So now I didn't finish the lyric. It's just it's a really strong song, and you know it's a song of about shutting the world away, not being engaged in what the world is going through, but really knowing that it's a really strong song where people, including yourself, aren't going to fade away as long as you let the world fade away, but you don't fade away. I mean, that's kind of a good way of explaining that song. I will not bow until I see that world fade away, which is a really powerful message. Number three, I would say is so the two songs for number three actually my number one song and this song are on the same album. Um and it's probably one of their by I would say it's better than the Black album. Actually, I would say the Black album and this one reigns supreme for me. But before I get into this song, this is a so the meaning behind this song, it is from Ride the Lightning by Metallica. Um the song is For Whom the Bell Tolls, but the meaning of this song basically is that all of humanity is interconnected, but it originates from a 1624 sermon by poet John Donne. It suggests that the funeral bell rings for you because any person's death diminishes us all. But the original quote comes from John Donne's Devotions upon Emergent Occasions. The full excerpt is often remembered by its most famous lines. Any man's death diminishes me, because I am involved in mankind, and therefore never send to know for whom the bell tolls. It tolls for thee. The meaning: historically, church bells were actually rung to announce a death. Don argued that because all human beings share the same destiny and are deeply connected, we shouldn't ask who has died when the bell rings. It serves as a shared reminder of our mutual mortality and our duty to care for one another. But Ernest Hemingway's novel, the phrase was immortalized in popular culture by Ernest Hemingway's 1940 novel For Whom the Bell Tolls. The context is setting during the Spanish Civil War. The book uses the Don quote to represent the idea that the threat of fascism was a threat to all of humanity, and that Americans should care about the suffering of people in Europe. Symbolism: in the context of the story's characters fighting and dying for a cause, it reinforces the message that the loss of any single human life is a loss for everyone. But for me, I mean, that carries a really, really powerful message, is that all of the protesting, all of the stuff that is happening in Biddeford due to this man passing away, one loss of a human is a loss for everyone. One casualty is a loss for everyone, not just those who see it or observe it. Honestly, technically, I would say not just for the Biddeford event, but we would ring that bell for all of those who were not criminals. Actually, technically, we would be ringing this bell 180 times. But church bells were actually used in history to announce a death instead of people asking who died, the bell was that way of announcing that somebody died. Um, but the second song on my list is you know what? I'm gonna go my second song being Walking on a Thin Line. I've talked about that song before. It talks about the Vietnam War and just how, how to settle back in from a war like that, of society misunderstanding you, not fully acknowledging that you're back home from that war. But that war was one of the worst ones due to being labeled as freaks, being out on the street. It's a really powerful song about, I will say, one of the wars that were very, I mean, most wars were very, I mean, it's war, but the Vietnam War, I feel like, was definitely horrible by far out of, but my last song, so this is number one. And again, this is another song from Ride the Lightning, and I did look up the meaning of this song as well. But to sum up, a song that talks about things, events that are out of control, that lose visibility and hope to the people. This one really, I honestly had a hard time between who the bell tolls in this song, but it's Fade to Black on the same album. Fade to Black is one of my favorite Metallica songs. And it has separate, so what I love about this song is it has a meaning through media, music, when the band wrote it, literature and fan fiction, and a colloquial usage. But out of all of these meanings of the song, I'm going to choose number four, the colloquial usage of the song, in really everyday language with this song. It says it can be used to describe someone losing consciousness or fainting, but it can also refer to as a situation gradually spiraling out of control or losing all visibility and hope. Now, I'm going to use the spiraling out of control and losing all visibility and hope. People were hoping that the governor would have done something about what happened yesterday automatically. Um, Especially the protesting being extremely, I mean, it was spiraling out of control. People started to argue with other protesters, which often happens. But spiraling control also means demanding answers of why these agents were here, why they killed somebody that was not the target, or two people within 2 weeks that weren't the targets of an illegal immigrant assigned job they were set out to do. I would say for me, and that's one of the big things on the news. I saw most people, witnesses, neighbors that saw this man getting killed, hearing the gunshots. You could just see it and observe it. That these people were losing visibility. I mean, they did lose visibility of what was going on. You know, Nobody knew. I mean, all we know that the agents were not wearing body cameras. They killed someone who was legally meant to be here. He had a family and he had a child as well that was 3 years old. So again, that is the meaning I'm gonna go with on this song, because it's when people spiral out of, because we can spiral out of control too, but also that leaves people losing visibility, but also losing hope, losing trust and faith. This is a song that's meaning can drain humanity at its full max. That's how strong this song is. Why I put it as number one? I put it as number one because I don't live in Biddeford, but I know it is one of the oldest towns, and there's a lot of mills in that town. It was actually a town for immigrants, to be specific. But I feel like even back then, it could have. I feel like it was a town that was maybe not, but it is a town where typically at times it can be very quiet, settling down, having a family, which this man attended to do and did it. But I also want to bring up the meaning, what it means in literature and fan fiction. So this is meaning, this is coming from like a book, the meaning coming, coming from like a book. Um, it says it typically, so like in fan fiction, it's in writing in fan fiction, a fade to black or closed door indicates that an explicit scene, typically romantic or violent, is occurring, but the author deliberately cuts away from the details, whereas the focus actually shifts somewhere else, leaving the specific actions to the reader, to the focus and shifts elsewhere, leaving the specific actions to the reader's imagination. So I definitely, but for me, it's like the ICE agents, if this was a book, they're cutting the details. They're cutting away of what we want to know by not having the body cameras on them. On what we witness is happening with somebody who is getting violence aimed towards them, especially if they're not the targeted person.